What it is, what it ain't, it's your girl Umbrella, and I am back with another video, okay? This is part 2 to the last video, episode 9 of the biopic series. We are talking about the movie The Iceman. It's going down. This is the part 2. So we're actually getting more into like his actual crime, what he did, how he started to join the mafia and do hits for them. We're talking about how he ended up getting arrested and little things here and there, okay? So first off, like, before we get into this video, I really wanted to talk about the biopic series in general and how happy I am with how it turned out. I am like gradually, I do go back to past videos and check the views, and the first video, the first biopic episode that I ever did is at like 100+ views, both part 1 and part 2. So I just want to say thank you to those that have watched that video, liked the video, and thank you to everyone that is watching the biopic series and loving the biopic series and, you know, just rocking with me and commenting your thoughts below. I really do appreciate that. Specifically with the biopic series that I'm talking about, the first episode, it was on Why Do Fools Fall in Love, the Frankie Lyman story. And I did get a comment recently, and I am thinking about going back to videos that I've done previously and giving like an update. So if you guys want me to do that, make sure that you comment below update, and I will do that. So every video in the biopic series that gets up to 100+ views, I will go back and do another part. I think the next video that's in the running for that is the introducing to Dorothy Dandridge video. It's at like 66 views. So if you want me to also go back to that video, the part 1 and the part 2, and do an update on that, make sure you comment below. I appreciate it. Okay, so first we're gonna start back off. Where did I leave off on the video? I think I left off, I was talking about his that he said to his family and the abuse. I think that's where I left off. So I'm kind of going to go back to how he joined the mafia. I think I touched on it maybe a little bit, but not too much. So he did get introduced to the Gambino crime family and the DeCavalcanti. Don't quote me on that. I don't know how to say it for real. I think I said it right. DeCavalcanti family as well. He started working for those two crime families when he did work at a porn production type of, you know, porn movie type of store. He was bootlegging videos and, you know, selling it to those people, and that's how he got into contact with the mafia in New Jersey, the mob, the gang, okay? So like in the movie, he started working for them and they tested it out. They made sure that, you know, he would just kill for them basically. So they asked him to kill someone like they did in the movie, and he walked up to the person and shot him in the back of the head. And he was very ice cold about it. And in the movie, they I think the boss that hired him actually was saying like, you have like the coldest eyes I've ever seen. Like, you just kill people and you don't feel anything afterwards. So I do want to get into some real things about him, okay? So you know how like most serial killers, they actually have a weapon of choice or something that they like to do, you know, that they frequently use, and then they become called a type of killer. Like what kind of example can I say? Like Jason has the big ass, you know, almost sword, something like that. Like most serial killers have a weapon of choice, and Kuklinski, he did not. Richard Kuklinski, he just murdered people, you know. He would use whatever he could use, whatever he wanted to use. So sometimes it was a gun, sometimes it was different types of guns, sometimes it was a knife. And I do believe that as he got paid more and more to kill people, he just used different methods to torture them. So one of the methods that he used that was not in the movie was that he would kill some of his victims. He would shoot them in the Adam's apple, and then he would have them being eaten alive by rats. Yes, I said rats, okay? That is so disgusting and disturbing. But that's what he would do, you know. The more money he would get, the more he would torture people. In one particular instance, it was a man that was trying to get some, you know, some DVDs from him or whatever, or back in the day, some VHS tapes of some porn from him, and he ended up killing the man. Well, no, he ended up, you know, like hitting him to knock him out or whatever. And he drove to Pennsylvania and took him to a cave and left him there to be eaten by rats. And he filmed the whole thing. So, yeah, I don't know who would want to just sit up there and watch that, but I think that was a way for him to record his accomplishments. He would record men that he would kill, and they would be eaten alive by rats, and that's disgusting. And I told y'all before in the previous video that he was called the Iceman because multiple of his victims, he would freeze their bodies to conceal the time of death, and then their bodies would be encased with ice. And, you know, that's how they would do it. That's how he would do it. Sometimes he would kill people with cyanide, and that's like a poison, basically, that if it touches your skin, you're dead. If you consume it in any kind of way, you have a slow, painful death. Like in the movie, a scene, he was on the dance floor, and he actually, like, blew it in someone's face, and the person started to have an attack and started to choke to death and things of that nature. So he would do that a lot. He would put cyanide in people's food. He would kind of like brush up against them and knock it on their skin, or he would use like a spray and do it like that. And that's kind of crazy. That in an interview that he really did like the cyanide. That was like one of his favorite things to do, was to use cyanide. So yes, his whole entire killing spree, you know, over 30 years, he killed 200 people as a total. Another thing is that his wife, Barbara, she actually made go bags for her kids, and that was in case he tried to kill her. She made bags, you know, for them to escape, things that they should take with them so that they could escape and get out of his clutches, which is crazy as well. But she knew that he would try to kill the kids as well, so she wanted them to get away, and, you know, she made go bags for them. FBI and the police were already investigating him up until the time that he ended up getting arrested. Richard Kuklinski, he ended up getting arrested in 1986 after, you know, an undercover cop went, you know, undercover and, you know, pretended to want to kill someone and knew that Kuklinski knew how to do it. So he, you know, he started talking to him about, you know, murders and how to do it and how to get away with it and stuff. And that's how Kuklinski ended up getting caught. So he was arrested for 5 counts, I believe 5 counts of first-degree murder. So you know he was going to jail. So he ended up serving, or they ended up giving him 2 consecutive life sentences, which nobody really survives. You know, once you got 1 life sentence, that's it. So he did end up going to prison in 1986. And after, I believe in 2003, he admitted to killing over 100 people. He did do a bunch of interviews talking about working for the mob and things like that. After he was incarcerated, he did start to open up a bit. And, you know, I guess he just figured, hey, I'm in jail, so I might as well just, I'm going to be in jail for the rest of my life, so I might as well just, you know, tell the truth, you know, get some clarity to people. And so he did tons of interviews. His story is based on other movies other than The Iceman, but his daughter actually said that she didn't like the way that he was portrayed in the movie, and she didn't like the way the wife, her mother was portrayed in the movie, because she's saying like if her dad was like that in real life, then her life would be different now. Like that her dad was actually very abusive to her mom, and in the movie it didn't show that at all. And if I don't know, it just, I think that's the thing about movies, sometimes they don't get it exactly right, you know what I mean? But it still was a good movie, like, and it did still have a lot of truths in the movie about his life, about how he was as a person. I just think they kind of omitted the abuse and everything, maybe for entertainment purposes, but I don't know. Yes, he did do a lot of interviews in jail up until the time that he passed away. Two things that weren't in the movie was that, of course, I think the movie ends with him being in jail and actually being interviewed, saying that he has no remorse for anything that he did. And that, you know, it was just all about business and yada, yada, yada. So another thing is that he ended up dying of a rare Japanese disease called Kawasaki. And I say rare because it said that most cases of Kawasaki is found in Japanese children. And some of the symptoms that he had from this disease was of mercury poisoning. So a lot of people do think that he was poisoned by someone, because he was going to testify soon against a mobster. Either that, or it was the fact that he was just spilling all the tea in all these interviews about how working for the mob really was in New Jersey. So it's no telling like who had a hit on him, honestly, or if it was natural causes. They did do an autopsy and saw that it was natural causes, but you never know, you feel me? His wife, he also did go into cardiac arrest. And I think a week before it happened, his wife had an option to resuscitate him or not. And she had already signed it and said no, but they called her again and asked her if she wanted to change her mind, and she said no. So when he did have cardiac arrest a week later, he did, you know, she said don't resuscitate him. So they just let him have the cardiac arrest, and he ended up dying right there at 70 years old on March the 5th, 2006. So, yes, that is the story of the Iceman. I did enjoy the Iceman movie. I do think that the abuse in the movie would have made it more real, I think. Because it would have showed just how evil he was. I think it would have made it a harder movie to watch. But it's a lot of movies that's really difficult to watch. But it needed, like, the things in the movie needed to be shown, you feel me? Like, it's a lot of movies like that. Like, I think it would have made it more real and a little less Hollywood. But it overall still is a good movie. If you watched the movie before, make sure you comment below. I hope that you guys like this video. It is Umbrella, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!